2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
You might have seen on the weekend that the Wildcats had their Club Champions Awards because it's been a couple of weeks.
I know. It's weird because the season is still going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the season's still going. It normally happens after the season, but they had the international stuff. Australia was playing in the Asian Cup. A couple of Perth Wildcats were playing in that, including beating Thailand yesterday by 50. Bryce Cotton, no surprises, took out the MVP. And it shouldn't be overlooked because what he's done in Australian basketball is quite amazing.
But that win, of course, now they've pushed back his citizenship application 4 years.
He's now saying he doesn't want it anymore. He's not even going to try.
What more can he do?
I know.
There must have been some other error, though. There has to be, because if they keep putting it back, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we'll work that out. But the big news for us here at Nova was that our good friend Greg Heyer has been inducted into the Wildcats Hall of Fame. And he
Hall of Famer!
I love
Greg, congratulations.
Greg.
Good morning, crew. I'm just trying to put myself just in the same echelon as Shaun McManus and his family doing the Rotto swim. Well done, mate. But,
he's not in the Rotto Swim Hall of Fame.
No, not at all.
No, he's in the slow
let's
lane.
start the campaign.
Hey, Greg, I love this because Greg has told me that he's been waiting this for a while to see if he gets it. And Greg always thinks that he's not going to be a person that gets an honour, you know what I mean, or a job. And the fact that you've got this, Greg, it just shows that you are the heart and the soul of that team, which is what I said. When I think of Greg, I think of that selfie of the Wildcats, and Greg's right in the middle.
Of course,
and then everyone's around him, and that's what Greg was to the Wildcats. So that's why you should be there, mate.
Thanks, man. It's been a very strange week, and obviously, Saturday night, it felt like a closing of a chapter, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, obviously retiring 5 years, and there's obviously, you're still in contact with the club. I mean, Jesse's still playing. I'm not sure why or how.
But his little Zimmer frame on the court is so great to see.
He must have some extreme gambling debts. But yeah, I think it was really special to have that on Saturday night, and even last night I was at my in-laws and I was on the way home, and Ainsley had said something to Sully and he goes, "Oh, so does that mean you're famous?" And I was like, "Thanks, mate. That's all you really care about." But it was special, and I think to sort of not close it, I'm not done with the club, but I guess in terms of where that progresses, I know as much as a lot of people go, your number's going to retire, it doesn't. I certainly don't think that's ever going to be the case, and I don't think that'd be
unless you do something really shameful, Greg, and illegal. Have to get rid of
retire it all right.
You know what I mean? Get hung from the rafters.
No, get buried in concrete.
Correct. The only reason why it's getting retired is because Kennards have paid $100,000 to have a sponsorship and put it there.
And they said we want it removed.
Hey, Greg, just jumping in for a second. So how long did you know before the night, when you got the call? Tell us about that moment. And the second part to that is there a period of time after you retire that they don't consider you for the Hall of Fame?
The latter one, I don't know. I know, I think kind of there is just this unwritten rule. It's 3 or 5 years. I don't know. Yeah. But I found out Monday, and it was a very unique situation. I got a message from the commercial, or the one of the main guys in the head office, Sam Fotu, and he at 9:30, he's like, "Hey mate, I've been speaking to Harley Reid. Is there a chance we can catch up during the day?" And I said, "Yeah, 5:30." Oh no, I said, "Just give me a phone call." And he goes, "Oh no, it's really important. Is there any chance we can meet today?" And I was like, "I work." And he goes, "Oh, okay, well." Later on, I said, "Mate, I can move a few things around. I've got a meeting." And so I called Ainsley. I said, "This is really bizarre." I said, "Unless I'm the MC for the Wildcats ball, I said, there is no chance."
Greg goes full detective.
Anyway, at about 4:30, I get a notification on my phone from Google Nest, and I look at the notifications, and my kids are walking out of the house in full full-blown Perth Wildcats kits with Greg Hire, and
Yes.
obviously Bryce Cott on the back because the other one doesn't like.
Well, of course.
Bryce
And Greg's all, oh my God, I can't believe when I'm not there, my family are celebrating me so much.
Right, and then got into the office and Damo walked into the room. So you see Damo and then you see camera guy following him, and I go, well, something's going on here.
Yeah.
So
They finally
got told
caught
on
me.
Monday. Yeah, exactly right. Well, what's happened here? So I got told on Monday, and it was a weird feeling because I didn't really tell many people because it wasn't announced as such, and it was only until Saturday night until the speeches where I've never felt more nervous in my life, and I don't know, I speak for a living.
Oh my God. The speeches you do at your charity each week are so profound, Greg, and you get emotional, and you're that was worse than this.
The MVP ball, I usually try and consume 8 bottles of vino before entrees, and I was drinking sparkling waters, and come when I saw 8-10 Greg Hire, I thought far out, but was sort of given 3 minutes. I laughed because I was like, there's absolutely no chance, and then 30 minutes later, it was the night was done, and I was still speaking. So there you go.
They started playing the music to him. By
Exactly.
The Oscars.
And we should mention the other inductee, of course, was the late, great Jack Bandat, who owned the club through those real glory days.
Oh,
of
yeah,
all the
right.
championships.
And so
all the
isn't it
rest
great
of
that they're both on it at the same time because
yeah.
you're part of, Jack's legacy. So, that's great. That's great.
Not only owned, I think saved the club. And it was actually funny talking about connection to Nova. The amount of people that came to me on the night and go, you know what? I actually I'm only become a Wildcats fan, and now I realise this is your face, and I'm very surprised.
And then they screamed, threw water at it and ran.
But no, it was an honour to be alongside Jack. Obviously, he made a short speech.
Yes.
No words at all, obviously.
Yes.
Greg. But then again, with AI, perfect chance to use it.
That was great.
Yeah. But you know what, Greg? I mean, and I spoke about you earlier on. When Greg was playing, so Greg's playing his game and he's got his family, and then every spare second he was flying places and doing clinics, and he was on the ground and he was doing stuff for the team. So Greg's job never finished, and he was always getting home right at the end of the day, and that day was packed full of stuff. So people didn't see the stuff behind the scenes.
That's right. The off-court stuff is as important,
and also
if not more important.
The bonding of the team as well. He was like the glue. So what
you've done since then, you're a terrific ambassador.
Oh, he's
for
done
that
nothing
club.
really.
Greg. There's no doubt about it. We're very proud of you, Greg.
Love him.
Thanks, Corey. It means a lot. It's look again. I'm a proud Stan Groper. I grew up in Balga, the Golden Triangle of the North, and to finally have
the Golden Triangle of the North.
What do you call it? The KGB?
KGB.
The KGB. You're welcome.
Who lives in the KGB again? Give us who lives in the KGB.
Kandula Gurween Balga, mate. Represent. I started my career at Balga and I finished my career in Rockingham. So things didn't change.
Wow.
What a step up.
So that's what
Roll race was exactly the same.
So Balga's where he stole the car, and the other one's where he dropped it off and burnt it.
Hey, Greg, did you get anything? Do you actually get anything out of
Yeah, what do you
being,
physically get?
now in the Hall of Fame?
I got a frame.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting a frame campaign for a watch or maybe a Weber offset smoker. Just for something
The traditional gift, yeah.
absolutely.
And also, is there a photo in? Is there actually a hall? Is there a hall?
Oh, there would be, Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I think it's more so like the club itself. They've got a number of things. It was actually a little bit of a pinch me moment walking into the club because we always had these championship banners, or not banners, photos at the front of the office.
Yeah.
And they've been removed. And it was a gut punch because I didn't even realise until Sully one time said, those photos aren't there of your dad anymore. And I literally messaged the club and I said, look, I know, there's new ownership groups, but I sort of had a little bit of pride. Yeah. And they're like, no, they're a bit weathered and, we're
Can you at least put them up when my son comes and then take them back down?
Correct. But when I walked in on the front door, there was a photo of me and then I thought, I put on some weight.
You have not. Your bum's a bit bigger, that's it.
That's always going to grow. But if the frontwards could change too. But anyway, then...
That's going in. It's
Hungarian glutes, mate.
But, that sort of was there. But, to be honest, I think, I messaged my mum and like, Mum came over here as an illegal immigrant. Hope Peter Dutton's not listening.
Yeah.
Or whatever immigration.
She's being removed as you speak, Greg.
Yeah, see you later, Mum. Love you. But I think, like, it sort of dawned on me. I was like, man, this is like nuts.
Look what you did.
You know, I was just stoked to play a game. Like, when I signed that first contract for $5,000, I was like, this is pretty sweet.
Wow,
and then
that's double Shaun's.
That was a 5-year contract too. So.
yeah, exactly.
It was record-breaking at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Hence why Jesse's still playing.
Jesse's on the old deal.
Yeah, correct. So then, 2019. And again, the championships are really cool, but I think the last 2 days of players and team members and coaches that have reached out, that's, I think, really special because I think, as you would know, Shawnee, when you leave your club, I think you're like, I'll speak to everyone. You'd be best mates with every single person and, your standard when you come back for a milestone or a memory, the same words. We should catch up often. And I walk off. I'm like, I'm not catching up with that guy.
So that's to everyone that saw you on Saturday night. That's fantastic. It's like the closest to being your own funeral, really, isn't it? Nice words.
Yeah. So it was special, and I think I think like from a highlight, like again, I'm not. You never want to have that arrogance piece, but from a legacy standpoint, I go, like, the club meant so much to me. It's helped me have the platform that I have in terms of what I do now, and I couldn't be more thankful.
Hey, Greg, we don't have 30 minutes, mate.
You're
going to have to
you had your 30 minutes.
I mean, look, it's 8:03 and, like, teasing there, like, going, what about the news?
Amy's giving it the round.
Amy's arms come out of the sock that she's winding up so much.
You should just say the news for the next hour should be Shaun Sports Update. Greg High was at the Wildcats Hall.
You're being played out with music now.
Okay. We're very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye, Greg Higher.
Greg Higher. We'll speak to him in another 3 years. We've got another 12
press
hours.
the button.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, Reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Plenty of news in the AFL world over the weekend because a lot of the teams have been playing intra-clubs. Yeah. And over in Melbourne, this is like what happens in pre-season games all the time. So Carlton's first-round pick, Jager Smith, he's an absolute gun, right?
Good name.
It's a good name. And it oozes success straight away.
Jager,
It's working out. So he did his knee. His season is done on the weekend.
And we're talking ACL,
versus St
we?
Kilda.
Yeah.
He's done his ACL. And another guy from the Demons, Andy Monez Wakefield, hyphenator.
Hello.
That'll be his nickname.
Michelle
the hyphen.
Yep.
He did his knee as well. Melbourne were playing North Melbourne scratch match. So those guys are 2 weeks away from the AFL season start. They're done for the year.
So sure.
Heartbreaking.
The big bosses who tell the coaches what to do, do they tell the coach off and blame them for injuries during that time, or is it just a thing?
That is just the thing.
It's just a gamble. Just a gamble.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I often see these guys do their knees and thinking about my time, but there's so much you need to pack into pre-season training.
Yes.
When you watch people doing the surfers and also the skiers getting ready for the Olympics, you see the amount of proprioception they do. It's off the charts.
The what?
Proprioception.
Oh, that's that citrus fruit.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a persimmon.
I thought so. It's like a finger lime. Nellie was telling me it's got like a caviar in the middle of it, not like seeds.
And I think that there needs to be an area, particularly in the pre-season, where they do a lot of this stuff, in my opinion. Because this happens all the time and your whole year is gone.
Or don't give them the break and just keep training going. And then there's no pre-season because they can just go at a steady rate the whole time through and not jam it in the front. That's the other way to go.
Well, it does seem like, Nathan, as the season goes on, there's less, and maybe that's because the condition of the grounds change because they get more worn with the weather, and they're not as hard and fast. Maybe that's an issue. Maybe that's a point.
Yeah, I think maybe a week off.
I mean, ultimately, though,
who's not pushing for a week off?
The nature of the sport, it's a collision sport, means that it's going to happen.
Things happen.
It's going to happen, and it's bad. It's bad luck, though.
It's unbelievably bad luck. Moving on to the GWS Giants and their 21-year-old backman, Finn Callahan. You might have seen in this news. So he was drafted in 2021 as pick number 3. And St Kilda have been trying to get a big-name player, and particularly a young guy that they can have for a while. He was offered a 10-year deal from St Kilda for $17 million, which would make him the highest paid player in AFL history. And most people don't know his name.
Sorry, he's like
he's 21.
Isn't that $3 million off what Kyle and Jackie O got for their 10-year?
Well, they got 100 over 10.
Oh, was it 100?
Yeah,
okay.
they're $10 million a year.
Is that the highest in football? Is that the highest?
It's the highest in football. So,
but he's not a big name. Do you know what I mean?
But he eventually probably will be. But they've kind of said, he's 21, let's go with this, and we'll just put all chips in, right?
Yeah,
$1.7 million, I guess, if you want to put it that way, a year. Harley Reid.
Yeah. Well, Harley Reid's like the jackpot. He's winning the lottery. But this is the thing. I want to go back to that. Has anyone ever paid a lot for someone and they're a dud?
Oh, heaps of times.
Yeah.
So that's a big gamble for a possible dud.
Yeah.
I'm not saying dud is in talent. Dud is in something happens.
Oh, yeah, no, injury can happen, Nath, like these guys doing their ACL, shoulders, whatever the case is. Concussion seems to be a thing that can end people's career. There must be an insurance behind that kind of shit.
You would think so, yeah.
But also, when the clubs are doing it these days, clearly we're hearing all these long-term contracts so that they can trade people out as well.
Is it happening?
No, he's decided that he will stay at the GWS Giants until
much?
2029. We don't know what the cost of that contract. That's in the cards. He hasn't officially signed it, but he's knocking that back.
So he would have maybe knocked back a couple of million because they wouldn't have the same funds, would they?
They would probably have less. Good. Less funds. GWS have less funds in the short term.
Even knocking back something that's $1 million less.
Do you think that decision was based on who's more likely to win a premiership in the next 10 years?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get caught up in that situation. Won't be St Kilda. That's for sure.
That's why Harley chose the Eagles.
Well, that's the thing.
Choose anyone.
If a guy like this is getting an offer like this, and we've mentioned this before, I think that Harley's likely to get a 10-year deal, and it's going to have to be around the $20 million to kick things off.
And so,
is that unders? I mean, you don't know because you don't know how his you don't know how his career is going to end because he could be in the same boat as any of these other guys we've just read out.
No, he should have been way more because there was so much buzz around him. I knew him before he was coming here, so I use myself as an indication. If I've heard of you, then you probably deserve that money. No, honestly, and if you don't, the only one I'll take out of that is Allen Iverson. I never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Yeah,
the answer.
Not as popular as Tony Collette.
And finally, the Gold Coast itself, as a council, are trying to move in on the Brisbane Olympics in 2032. They're going to take swimming. They want swimming. They want to put $100 to $150 million into their aquatic centre and say swimming should be on the Gold Coast because all the great swimmers in Australia train there.
Yeah.
It'll be an advantage. They'll put a roof on the outdoor joint and they'll just make it a big purpose-built thing.
Does it cost $150 million to put a roof on?
Mate, who wants the contract for that?
You just need those shade sails.
Yeah, a couple of shade sails. You do.
So if they get in that, what would we have here? What do we do? If we would, what do we do sports-wise? Produce a lot of.
What do we produce?
That was at the Olympics. Is it cycling?
Cycling was good here at the Velodrome in Midland. That was good.
But we don't really produce anything that we'd say. They say we're swimming. We're what?
I mean, hockey, probably.
Are we hockey?
Oh, yeah, because we're the hockey.
I don't want hockey.
You asked and now you're stuck with hockey, Nathan.
Hockey.
It's your fault.
Sean Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Windsor Gardens or download the Revo Fitness app, revofitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.